Linear perspective is a technique for representing three-dimensional space on a two-dimensional surface. This method was invented during the Renaissance when artists were trying to draw as realistically as possible. It's a mathematical system to show depth realistically. Linear perspective is based on the way the human eye sees the world. Things that are closer to us appear larger, things that are farther away appear smaller. To create this illusion, the artist creates a vanishing point on the horizon line. Objects are drawn using orthogonal lines, which lead to the vanishing points. In the coursework section of my Google Classroom, I've uploaded some one-point perspective resources. So today we're going to practice boxes in perspective and letters in perspective. So you can either print these out at home to try, or you can recreate your own if you don't have access to a printer. So for supplies, you're going to need your boxes in perspective paper, a pencil, an eraser, and some sort of straight edge or ruler. So I'm going to be using the downloaded paper from the Google Classroom, but you could just draw some rectangles on a paper and a vanishing point in the middle to practice your own. So to practice, basically what we're going to be doing is connecting all of the box vertices or corners to the vanishing point. So those lines that we are going to be drawing are called the orthogonal lines. So if you can see, I'm lining my ruler up to that corner and bringing it down to the vanishing point. I'm going to this vertice or corner to the vanishing point. I'm doing this vertice or corner to the vanishing point. And then it looks like, wow, my box is like super tall. That's so cool. If I want to make it look a little shorter, I would just take my ruler or straight edge and draw a vertical line and a horizontal line like that. So now I've made it a little bit shorter, and I can go back and erase those orthogonal lines that I'm not using. So now what I want you to do is try that, and then try all the boxes here, and try making them at different heights, and it looks kind of like you're looking down at a city when we're done. I'm going to keep working on mine, and I will stop talking, and I'll come back to you in just a minute. So I have finished my boxes in perspective paper, and it looks like a bird flying over a city, kind of, doesn't it? So you could even add details in here like trees and people walking up streets. Have some fun with that, or try a whole new paper with different shapes. I'm going to do quickly this letters in perspective. Now it's really similar to what I just did with my boxes, only each of these has its own little vanishing point. So I'm going to take my straight edge, and again on all my vertices for my shapes, I'm going to draw a line. Now I'm going to draw a little bit heavier because my camera is looking not quite as dark as I need it to be. So again, I'm going to go all of these vertices to the vanishing point, but you should be using a whisper of a pencil, ladies and gentlemen. Remember how that helps make that erase easier. So here is my letter A, and if you can see, it looks like it's a really tall letter. So the trick here is, if you want to make it look a little bit shorter, in each of these triangles that are now completed, you're going to mimic or that line that is in there, the parallel line. So I'm going to go, for instance, parallel to this line, and then I'm going to go parallel to this line. And I'm going to go parallel to this line, and then parallel to this line, and last but not least, parallel to this line. And that's going to help me shorten up my letter if I want to make it look a little bit shorter. So just practice around with these. You can print out a bunch of these or draw your own letters and give it a whirl. All right, so I finished this, and I want to show you one last trick. I'm going to zoom in here with my camera. And I want to talk to you guys about shadowing. So think about also where your light source is coming from. So I'm going to pretend my light source is coming straight down. And I can take my pencil now and shade in some of the areas that don't get as much light. And it's going to also help with that perspective of three-dimensional. So obviously this is going to be straight in the sun, so it won't be as dark. On the insides is where it would be the darkest. And you can, depending on how you press down on your pencil, you can press down harder or lighter and really help shade that letter or whatever shape that you're drawing to make it look like it is three-dimensional. I love op art. Now tomorrow I am going to do another perspective lesson. We're going to do a city in a circle lesson. So practice this one first so that next lesson we can hit the ground running.